Good evening. I'm doing poached eggs for my tea. Actually, it's eggs Benedict. Didn't know what to have and didn't really want that much, so I thought poached eggs would be a great one. So I thought I'd take this as an opportunity just to run through quickly some of the tips on poaching eggs. Before you think I'm telling you how to do something simple, actually, in reality, it can be quite tricky doing a poached egg, and there's just a few basic things to stick to that's really going to help you. So first of all, and the key number one, this is absolutely it. If the egg's no good, your poached egg's no good. So for an egg to be poached, it has to be as fresh as you can possibly get it. So when you buy it from the supermarket, the eggs with a date on, from the date it's kind of laid till it runs out, they put a month on there. So say for example you buy it and you say, well, there's 3 weeks left. They're only best before anyway, but however, 3 weeks, that means it's a week old already. Now that still will work for a poached egg, but basically what happens, the longer an egg kind of sits there, it deteriorates. So what happens is the white becomes thinner and the outside of it goes quite watery. So when you put it into a pan, it just goes everywhere. It just looks like ectoplasm in a pan. It looks awful. So I'm going to show you a couple of little tips how to kind of avoid that. But tip number one, absolutely, is fresh eggs. Fresh, free range eggs. If you can't get them fresh, don't do poached eggs. Do scrambled eggs or something else. You have to have them fresh poached eggs. That's number one. Secondly, I've got water boiling and it's not going to boil. It's going to just come up to a bubble. So it's just blipping. What we don't want to do is put it in boiling water and basically the boil is just going to send the egg all over the place. Don't want that. And we're going to add a touch of vinegar, white wine vinegar. I told you vinegar is the key thing to have in there. So a splash. I'm probably going to put what? About half a teaspoon, say about half a tablespoon, something, a couple of teaspoons, something like that. And all that does is it helps to for the whites to kind of stick to themselves. So I'm just bringing that up the boil on. Right, second tip, if your egg is slightly watery on the outside, it's good to go all over on the inside. So here's a tip, if you've got a little tea strainer, and I've just cracked 3 eggs into 3 rabbit balls because that's what I'm having. Put it in the tea strainer, watch there, you'll see if the egg is not fresh, which that one is, the loose white stuff will begin to pour through. So that's telling me that that particular egg is fresh. That's good. So I'm happy with that one. Next one, let's try that one. Let's see, have a look with that. So there's very little. Can you see the stringy stuff coming out there? That's the stuff that will go through the and it is actually coming through a little bit. But that's telling me that the eggs are fairly fresh. Like I say, the dates are good on these, goodish, good enough, that is. Let's have a little go again. Anything coming out of that one? No, so pretty much they're all good. Good to go. So I'll discard all of that malarkey, get rid of that, and here's the thing. So it's just now bubbling. It's not boil, bubbling. So all we're going to do, we've got these in our little cups, our little ramekins. They take 3 minutes to cook. We're going to check them after about 2.5 hours. How do you check them boiling? Well, I'll show you. So it's just coming up there now. So I don't want it to boil any more than it's going now. So I'm going to spin it round, not vigorously, just so it's got a swell. It's a deepish pan, and there's a reason for that. And I'm just going to take it close to the water edge and drop 1, drop 2, and yes, you can put more than 1 in, and drop 3, and there we go. I'm going to watch the water now, and as that's coming up, I'm just going to turn it down so it doesn't boil. There's a couple of reasons for, Alexa, set timer for 2.5 minutes.
For how long?
2.5 minutes.
2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Honestly,
starting now.
I'm going to have to get a new Alexa. She doesn't listen. Like my wife, honestly. Don't tell her I said that. It was a joke, by the way. Don't be sending comments to me. I'm watching you. I'm watching you making notes there. So as you see, the reason for putting it in a largish pan of boiling water is a couple of fold. Number one is you're giving the eggs plenty of room so they don't like stick together. They don't actually stick together as you know, as long as they're kind of good enough. And number two, as you're putting the eggs in, the eggs are at room temperature, but they're still cold compared to the boiling water. So what tends to happen is, I'm just going to pop my toast in while I'm doing that. What tends to happen, making hollandaise sauce as well, so I'm just giving that a little stir. What tends to happen is, obviously you put the eggs in, it cools the temperature down. So that offsets the cooking time. So it's got to come back up to kind of the boil. As you see there, nothing's boiling as such. I don't mind a little blip. I don't mind the little blips there, but it's not vigorously boiling, which is key. And I'd normally have this on, but you won't hear a word I'm saying with the extractor on. Like I say, 2.5 minutes is all you need. Just leave them do the thing. What you'll notice as well, they'll start to float, which is what you want. That's another reason for a large pan. If you drop the eggs in and basically they sink to the bottom, and the water's not deep enough, it'll stick. It can stick to the bottom of the pan. So this way, and they always say I use a large pan of boiling water. Same for spaghetti. It's the same kind of principle behind that. So we're just letting that do its thing. I'll give it its 2.5 minutes, and all we're going to do when the time's up is going to just lift one out, and we're going to give it a little press just to see if it's still soft and to make sure there's no kind of white still there. So it is by eye, but 3 minutes is generally what it needs is to do its thing. So there's my toast just popped there. That's my sourdough I made yesterday. So I thought, right, I haven't got any, you know, sometimes you just got to improvise. I haven't got any English muffins that you need for eggs Benedict, but I did do a ham today. And I sliced the ham up, so I thought, well, you know, you put 2 and 2 together, you thought, right, here we go, 2.5 minutes. So enough talking, get it out, and as you can see, it's soft there. Have a little look, there you go, it's soft. And I'd say I can't really feel any white. I'll give it another 20 seconds, because that, you know, I wanted it 3 minutes is the job. That one, yeah, is about done. You can feel it, it's bouncy. So it's telling you it's still, I'll just turn that down. And it's not boiling. It's not creating havoc. Alexa, stop. And it's doing its thing, which is good. Brilliant. That's what we want. So perfect poached eggs. And you'll see there's not white everywhere. It's kept itself into a little nice tight shape. That's what you want. That's what fresh eggs do. And all we're going to do now is I'm going to take them out one by one. Look at the shape. Yeah? You see what I mean? Fresh eggs. You don't get that with an egg that's not fresh. You get a horrible shape. But we want a nice shape. We want a round egg. A round shape to our egg. Don't get me wrong. You will fail from time to time. You'll always get a dodgy egg in the batch. Always. It's just the way things go. So I'm going to plate up and show you what I'm doing kind of at the end. But that's my 3 eggs done. I'm just going to give them a little bit of a season, just a little bit of salt and pepper on there. Like I say, I'm having eggs Benedict, which is very nice. But you still want everything seasoned. But I still like to season everything. Everything has to have its own seasoning, and then it's all fine together. So there we go. I'm going to stop this, get me plate, and we'll plate up in 20 seconds. I will stop it.